Hi guys, about 2 months ago I have asked you what kind of battery you would buy today if you would need one. And in that polling there were 4 options, so very much DIY until just go to the local distributor and buy anything. And that poll, as you can see on the screen, was very evened out. There was only 1 vote more on the very DIY option, and all others more or less completely the same. So today I have received 2 wooden crates. They are outside in front of the garage, and we will shortly take a look what it is. The new inverter at the Powerwall is now operating for about 2 months. Let's just take a very short look how it was doing with the old battery, and then we will just speak about the new one, and this time it will be a battery review as well, and it will also give you an idea how much or how little you have to pay at the moment for something like that, what I have received. And there's also a special deal in there for you, where you can get an amazing deal if you also want to buy what I bought. So without further delay, let's just take a look into data quickly and then just see what is in front of the garage. Yeah, as I said, since about 2 months I am operating the Powerwall with the new day hybrid inverter, and it is just using my old battery pack, which are Sinopoly 100 amp lithium iron phosphate cells. The state of health of those cells is really terrible already. We are down to 50%, and this you can see here. Yeah, this bell-like curve is not the solar curve. This is just the state of charge curve. So at 9 o'clock we are starting to charge the battery, and around 1 o'clock afternoon the battery is already full. Then from 5 o'clock at the evening until around 10 o'clock the battery is discharged. You can see here a total charge energy for this day, 13.5 kilowatt hours, and then the discharge, which is around 12.5 kilowatt hours. So 1 kilowatt hour is missing due to efficiency. That is because that battery is very short. But as you can see, from 600 amp hours, only around 300 amp hours are left there. On this curve you can see the same here, the state of charge curve, and the other ones are the currents. So in the morning we are beginning to charge the battery, and then afternoon, evening discharging. And if you look this at the impact to the grid, this during the night here, as you can see, we have grid import, and then here 9 o'clock excessive energy from the solar systems is available. The inverter is zeroing out the input, and then the battery is full at this moment. Export is starting until there is no more solar energy, and then the inverter is again zeroing out the grid input until the battery is depleted, and we start import again. But you can see here on this graph there is a lot of remaining excessive energy during the day, and this shall be now tackled with the new battery. Yeah, that was the data so far. let's just go outside and see what I've got. So yeah, and here there are two wooden crates directly from China, 1 and 2. We will take a look once what's inside there, but first I want to go to the Powerwall with you and just tell you what the requirements of my order had been, because the equipment what is inside these boxes is not just anything very standard, so it had to fulfill several criteria because of the circumstances here in my climate and where I do have this equipment. Yeah, so these are the two main criteria how I have chosen the new battery packs. You know, I have here my compartments, and two of those, probably these two with the wooden doors, I will use to put a pack inside. The third one will then be used for a small distribution for emergency power, etc. Yeah, two compartments, so 2 packs only. And the second criteria is that we are dealing here with a protective outside area. So I do have protection against rain and also against sun with these doors, right? But inside it's of course a very dirty place. We have dust, we have insects, we have the small critters around here. And yeah, that makes it a very dirty place. So the battery packs should have a rating for a protective outside area. So this is how the crates have arrived. You can see a nice wooden box, which is reinforced by a metal on the edges. All of the boxes are in a good condition. And underneath they have put the wheels which you can optionally mount on the battery. Last time, you know, when I made this system here in my garage, I got my equipment from an equipment distributor. So the advantage by using a distributor is that you can get all your equipment from one place, right? The inverter, the battery, if you need panels, all the mounting stuff, it will all come from the same place. But of course this needs to be paid, because everyone needs to make some money. The distributors, they're also getting their stuff like this here built by a OEM, original equipment manufacturer, and yeah, they're ordering the stuff there and they're just putting the name on the box, and that's then it. Right, they need some margin when selling, so the equipment will always be a little bit more expensive. This battery here has been fairly standard. If you're following my channel, you know that I usually buy my equipment, and of course this time I did it as well. The reason for this is I am sourcing the equipment which I need and not what somebody is offering me and then I'm using it, you know, just to save some money. So last time I told you I have got my equipment from an equipment distributor. But this time I thought I'm stepping up one notch and I want to skip the middleman and get equipment from the equipment manufacturer directly. So that's why I was sourcing again via the Alibaba platform, and I was looking for OEMs, or original equipment manufacturers. There's a couple of them on the platform, and you just look whatever they have. Usually the OEMs, they have a big variety of products similar to this one. You can get all-in-one systems which already have built-in inverters, you can get stackable batteries, high voltage, low voltage, ordinary batteries, like this one is. This is an ordinary 48 volt battery pack, etc., etc. And it depends very much what you're looking for. You can also find specialized equipment like outdoor rated equipment, cooled and heated equipment, etc., etc. So there's almost no limit when it comes to OEMs. It's just that OEMs usually do not sell in low quantities to individuals. OEMs typically will serve distributors. So a distributor also will go to the OEM and say, okay, I want to have this kind of product, can you design this for me? And then they will build this in large quantities and give to the distributor, and they will sell it, right? So that doesn't mean that you cannot come in business with an OEM. It's just usually that the minimum order quantities will be quite high. So if you would tell an OEM, I want to buy one, then they will usually ask you one pallet or one container full or what one. Nevertheless, the OEM which I found and which had a suitable product that I was looking for is selling equipment to individuals, but in the minimum order quantity of 2. So I have here 2 crates. Now still, that is not the last word. You know, buying batteries, this is usually a big and expensive item. I thought, okay, I want to come into contact and just ask them if they are interested that we take a look into their product, right? So are they willing to work with me if I make a review and look inside? That OEM is not as well known internationally. They are selling a lot of stuff inside China, and they do have some distributors in other countries of the world, but it's not a big OEM. So they agreed that we can do something. So what I wanted from them is not exactly much for me. I got still a few $100s of discount on the 2 batteries, but I was of course interested in getting some interesting deal for my viewers. So they agreed to that if someone after seeing this video is interested to buy a product from them, or maybe the same exact battery here, that they will get a special deal. Means they will only pay the wholesale price for the item, and the minimum order quantity is also just 1 individual piece. This is really a great offer, because I did not get any sort of instruction what I should show you or what I should tell you. There looks like similar curious what we are telling about their product as everybody else who is looking this video. And you can get this battery, which I will show you in a moment, for amazing price. And the wholesale price by today, wholesale prices of course change almost on daily basis, but they can go up and they can go down. But by today, this battery, which is inside here, costs $1,250 US, excluding shipping. Okay, so enough said. Let's take a look into one of the crates here, what's inside there and who is the manufacturer of the battery there. Okay, let's look into the crate. What do we have here? First of all, we do have several manuals. So this one is for the BMS. Then we have an English manual for the battery itself. And then we have an installation instruction for the wheels if you need those. Here we do have a set of cables. This is 2 AWG or 35 square millimeters. And you can already see we do have the weatherproof connectors. This can be just clicked onto the battery, right? It's very nice. And then we have what you will otherwise not have with other batteries, a stand as well. So you can use wheels or a stand as you need. So in my case, I need the stand and not the wheels. And then here a bag with all the hardware. I can see anchors, screws, cream plugs, cables for communication, handles, yeah, another serial cable here. Let's open this one, and here's the battery. We will of course take it out later on. This is the so-called Eleshell16K battery from Bettenergy. Bettenergy comes from the name Bettenergy. The 16K stands for 16 kilowatt hours of capacity. That is because this 51.2 volt battery pack does have 314 amp hour cells built in. The cells by itself are A grade from lithium. Then we have a BMS inside there. So the Bettenergy, they are calling this their ordinary battery, but actually this is not so ordinary. It does have the outdoor rating, but inside you will see it is also built in a quite special way, because inside this is industrial build, of course. All the components are built modular, so whenever there's a problem with the battery, you just don't need to replace the whole thing. You can replace individual components inside here. Yeah, so let's see if we can get this out of the crate and then see inside. Yeah, I have opened the crate, and the first thing I want to do is mount the stand, of course. Otherwise, I will never be able to come there again. You have to consider the battery as it is here. The weight of it is 120 kilos or about 240 pounds. So that's quite a heavy weight and difficult to handle alone. I will now take the chance, because the battery is laying here quite nicely, take off the lid here, and then we can look inside. So the last screw is removed. Let's see if there's any cable somewhere. Yeah, it's only there. I will disconnect this connector here. Now we have a clear look into the battery itself. Yeah, and this is how an industrial manufactured ordinary battery looks like. Very clean built. You can already here clearly see we have a modular build here. So they also write it on these big PCBs here. This is module A, and we have a module B. All of these modules are completely encapsulated in a metal frame and can be lifted out. You only need to open these screws here, and then you can actually take out an individual module. Still, one of these modules weighs around 50 kilos, so that's not an easy job too. And here you can see very nicely we have the connections, the bus bars between the modules. On these PCBs here, everything is already integrated. You have temperature sensors there. Here you can see underneath there is a bus bar from cell to cell, and those cells are spot welded. On the other side you have the connectors which take information to the BMS, and again very solid, nice bus bars going either to the terminal or to the BMS. The BMS is now hard to see, but I will show you all of these also in small video clips directly from the manufacturer. So underneath there, this is a 200 amp BMS from Pace. Pace BMSs are the industry standard for almost any of these Chinese battery packs. They have very advanced communication features. This is because you can parallel a lot of these packs together, and they will then communicate flawlessly with the connected inverter. Yeah, that's the inside of these so-called ordinary packs. All of this is dust and waterproof to some point. We have IP54 here. So I'm going to close the lid again, and then we will take a look how this looks from the outside. Take a look from the outside. So again, this is an outdoor rated battery. Keep that in mind. In the front we only have a small indicator which is just built out of LED. So it is state of charge there. Some lights for battery states, but that's it. There is no display on the pack. The pack can be accessed via app. So they have saved themselves a cutout to avoid problems with water or anything. On this side we do have the battery connectors. These are weatherproofed connections here, terminals. And on this side we have two communication ports and the power button, dip switch for the address. This battery is set to number 1, so the master battery should be number 1, and then on the other battery the dip switch have to be set that the switch 1 would be a 0 and the switch 2 on 1, so that would then represent the number 2. Here we have a temperature sensor for the ambient temperature, and that's already it. Yeah, that's all what this battery has to show from the outside. What I can do now is to power it on and then see how it connects to the app. Okay, let's turn on the battery now. The display is showing us now the status. Battery is running and we have 5 out of 6 LEDs state of charge is shown. All what we need now after we start the battery is the Pace X BMS app. So this, and then we will be asked if we want to do a local control or remote control. So local is via Bluetooth, remote control via Wi-Fi, but initially now Bluetooth is fine for me. So let's press there. You will see the Bluetooth devices or battery packs. In this case we only have one at a time. I can click on there and let's wait a little bit, and here we have all the data. So we can see we have a state of charge of 75%. At the moment, our highest voltage, cell voltage, is 3.331 volts and the lowest 3.3328. So the lowest and highest cells are around 2 millivolts difference. This is after 2 months being somewhere on the way, not used at all, which is very nice. So we can also go into more detailed values here. So we can now see every single cell here, and you can see almost all of them are at 3.33 volts exactly. It's just the number 16 is a little bit off, but this can be balanced easily. Temperature, as you can see, 35.8 degrees Celsius. That's more or less ambient temperature here today. So we are in the middle of the hot season. At the parameter settings, here we will then at some point set different cell limits, right? I don't want to go as high maybe as this is set here, and also not as low. So yeah, just go a little bit more conservative and just be on the safe side. Later on, when this is connected to the inverter, then the inverter will handle this smoothly here. Yeah, so easy, right? I will give you now all information how you can find the battery manufacturer, Bettenergy, and how you can contact Jason if you want to ask about one of these products which they have, or maybe even you want to also buy such a Eleshell16K. These kind of batteries, of course, are perfect for us DIYers, very easy to use. Any low voltage inverter can be connected to this, and the typically base BMS can communicate with more or less any inverter brand which is out there. Great price, 1,250 plus shipping. I have paid $330 for these two batteries. It takes, of course, quite some time, so you have to be patient. This kind of heavy stuff is usually shipped by sea, and yeah, this takes, it took from China here to Thailand now almost exactly 2 months, which is quite a long time, but what can you else do other than wait? So you have to be patient, and one day the battery is then at your door. Good. In the next video we will then take those two battery packs and install in the Powerwall, and yeah, this will be another day of work because the old battery cells have to be all taken out, and then I have to change the shelf system there, remove a lot of metal in between. So this will take some time, but at the end we will have double the capacity at the Powerwall, which is great because this will be about the amount of capacity I need with the current solar system to more or less during the days when there's not so much demand, take out all the excessive energy and reuse it then during the night time. Good. So please, I am not affiliated in any way. I'm not getting any cut if you are ordering the battery at Bettenergy. All the savings go to you. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment, like and subscribe to the channel, and I see you next time.